I'm Victoria Rossi. Sometimes the best way to learn about a place is to just get out there and walk. Boston by Foot does just that. Today we're going to check out a walking tour of the Back Bay, complete with grand Victorian architecture and the stories that helped make Boston famous.
It's another brick building in Boston. You can see the slight archwork here, reminiscent of Romanesque, and you can see the carved panels of brick. The large arch was emblematic of new American architecture in the early 1900s. Louis Sullivan, Frank Lloyd Wright, Richardson, they were all using arches.
The history was really interesting. Learning about the architecture was great, and it's just when I go to a city, I like to not just walk past the buildings, but actually know what they're all about.
Back Bay is largely, Boston is largely brick because it was easily accessible, easily made. Roxbury pudding stone is a favorite geologic kind because it was quarried about a mile and a half away. And when it's scrubbed up, it's relatively pleasant. This church needs scrubbing. It's now a Baptist church.
I haven't really had a chance to delve into the history of Boston, and this was a nice introduction to that, so I got to hear somebody describe what times were like then. And when some tourists just take you around on the bus and tell you, you don't get the same sense of the feeling of what it was like.
Well, I've always wanted to visit Boston. My husband had a meeting here, so I came along to see the city.
Louis Mumford, who was for years writing a column in the New Yorker magazine, architectural historian, art critic, Louis Mumford, great writer, says, the Commonwealth Avenue Mall in Boston is the greatest urban plan of the 19th century. It's a perfect grid system, an amazingly easy system, again, planned around 1850, and you have the Grand Avenue, which is as close as we can get to Paris, France, and the Victorian aspect has to do with architecture, in addition to city planning. And the Back Bay architecture is the subject of books and lectures and exhibits. It goes on and on and on. This is 1874, and this is newly restored Roxbury pudding stone. And it looks far different than what we saw in the Baptist church down the street. And the arches here in this building happen to be pointy. They're not round, which indicates this is a different style architecture. This is Northern Italian Gothic. And the church is particularly spectacular on the inside. They welcome all people. This is a very successful congregational church.
What was your favorite part?
Good question. I guess when he started describing this fantasy party that took place in one of the homes down the street here with Mark Twain and Gardner, it really gave me a sense of what life was like in that era.
Frederick Lothrop Ames liked to give parties. He had the largest ballroom in the city of Boston, and you've just been in there. And you noticed we weren't there long enough to get kicked out. Now I have to tell you that 3 of these panels go down into the basement level, which doubles the size of this room. And the space comes all the way out here to these windows. So you could have one heck of a party.